At a local wild game bird farm and hatchery in Strathcona County, a group of volunteers and wildlife workers gather to collect Chinese ring-necked pheasants. They'll collect 100 or so, then release them to the wild for upland game bird hunters.
So in this case, these birds are going down to our Daysland release site, which is basically about an hour, I guess it would be southeast of Edmonton here, just south of Holden and east of Camrose.
The fact they raised in big, huge pens, little contact with people, they only feed and water them, maybe check for their status to make sure there's no sick or hurt birds.
Of course, this roundup and release practice is very common at Rick's Bird Farm.
So in southern Alberta, actually, we do have wild populations. I mean, at one point in time they were planted. They were introduced into Alberta back in, I believe it was 1908, so they've been here a long time, but there have been wild producing populations in Alberta since then. And so our program is a provincial program where we actually release them essentially from about Camrose south. About 17,000 birds get released in the fall.
Oh, nice.
You're a good kid.
Are you okay?
Oh, my goodness.
They try to herd them into one corner and essentially just be quick with the hands, grab them really quickly, get a hold of their wings, and then shove them in a crate. Basically, it's a poultry box.
The strain that they're using is extremely wild, and I've had people comment that they've actually seen some of the birds that were released last year running around down around Lethbridge and that, so that's a very good sign.
At this point in time, because we have them all caged, they're considered poultry. But as soon as you release a pheasant on the ground in Alberta, it becomes a wild animal. It's protected or covered under the Wildlife Act. There'll be a number of them actually going to be hunted, and there'll be a number of them that just aren't going to know how to handle predators. Obviously, they've grown up in a pen to this point in time. But those that do make it sort of through the winter, they will become wild birds and be able to repopulate for sure.
At 22 weeks, ring-necked pheasants are ready to go. In the wild, only 1 to 5% survive natural predators and hunters, but it's what they're hatched and raised for.
This year, we should be close to 7,000 pheasant hunters in the province, and it seems to be getting more and more popular. People are quite interested in the activity.
The comment we've had from the people in the last 2 years since we brought these McFarland birds in is that these are extremely wild birds, really hard. The dogs are worked really hard, and there's no guaranteeing you can even get your limit.
This is called a hard release. So basically, we're taking them from a pen where we're supplying them with food and water one day, and the next day we're dropping them out into the wild to fend for themselves. So the survival rates end up being lower over the long term.
From Alberta's only remaining federal wild game hatchery to the wild, providing a growing trend back toward the hunt. For Go Edmonton, I'm Tim Dancy.